Good evening and welcome to May 22nd, 2017 of the Valley View School District Board Meeting. Mr. Badouris, would you lead us in the pledge? The new intro was created by Jack Randish of the Romeoville High School. Ms. Perro, could you please read the affirmation of the Board of Education's mission statement?
Our
And-
mission is to empower all learners to be college and career ready and to develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to make a motion that Vice President Victor Zach serve as President Pro Tem for this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell? Member Gilbo?
Just say yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes. Motion passes. The agenda. Mr. Mitchum, the agenda items, please.
Yes, Mr. President Pro Tem, I'd like to ask that the board approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. And Mr. Grzaki, now number 5, please.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.1 is the monthly report for April 2017. Includes the usual bevy of reports, including interim obligation payments totaling $4,943,874.70 for your approval this evening.
So moved.
Can I get a motion, please?
Need a
Roll
motion?
call vote.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.2 is the schedule of bills for May 2017. We've got 5 funds representing the total bills payable for the month, totaling $4,482,836.27 for your approval.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Treasurer's Report 5.3, Summary of Investments for April, 5.4, State Funding Update for the same month, as well as the school trust account activities representing March of 2017 are included for information only.
Any questions? 5.4, please.
You're done,
it was information You're done? Okay. Consent agenda items, Dr. Mitchell?
Six one, approval of board meeting minutes 5/1/17. 6/2, executive session meeting minutes for 5/1/17. 6/3, student activity contract approval request, BJ Ward with Scholastic Books. 6/4, student activity contract approval request, KL Hermanson with Anderson Book Fair Company. 6/5, recommendation to extend related services contract with Easter Seals of Joliet Region Incorporated. And 6/6, Valley View Educational Enrichment Foundation 2017-2018 grant awards.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions?
I just have a comment. Mr. Lawler could not be here tonight, so if anybody has any questions, they can see me afterwards about the grant awards. And if teachers are watching, those will be in your mailbox either Thursday or Friday of this week. So please check.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Buduris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. Student and staff recognition. Pillars of the Valley View.
First to the podium is Dr. Keith Wood from Brooks Middle School.
Ready? Okay. Good evening to the Board of Education, senior leadership, Dr. Mitchum, our school community. I'm Dr. Wood, principal of Brooks Middle School, and it gives me great pleasure to announce this pillar of Valley View. But before I get into that, I just want to thank the Valley View Education Enrichment Foundation for all the support over the years for our teachers and students, and we look forward to those grant awards. I have to my left Mrs. Kerr, and I have to tell you, Mrs. Kerr is a phenomenal asset to our students and school community. And as stated by several of her peers, she is fair, hardworking, and loyal. She goes above and beyond what is expected of her on a daily basis. She is co-athletic director, PE key leader, dance chair, an active member of the Booster Club, and a coach. And most amazingly, she manages to do all of this with not 1, 2, 3, or 4, but 5 young boys at home. And I will have to say they're actually here in attendance, so that's phenomenal. Amy wants her students and her athletes to be the best they can be. She strives for excellence and is committed to our Brooks family. Amy has such a positive attitude and never seems to be overwhelmed by the many responsibilities she has, even the many tasks that are recommended to assist with streamlining the sports program and PE health curriculum. Besides teaching and coaching, Amy is quite active with service efforts to include a host of activities to fundraise for the American Heart Association. In conclusion, she possesses all of the characteristics of a pillar of Valley View. By consistently working hard and holding herself to the highest of standards, she embodies what it means to be a pillar of Valley View. Congratulations, Amy, for being selected for this honor, for always representing our school so very, very well. Congratulations.
Next, we have a school board member, Diane Perro, for the BHS Fans Organization.
Good evening, community members and everyone up here, my colleagues. I'm taking my school board member hat off right now, and I have on my volunteer hat at Bolingbrook High School. I am in charge of the FANS program, which is Friends and Neighbors Supporting Students, and I would like to introduce you to Sharon Garidi. Come on up. While she's walking up here, I just want to start. Come on. I would like to introduce you to an amazing VVSD community member, Sharon Garidi. Sharon is one of the very dedicated friends and neighbors supporting students, otherwise known as fans, at Bolingbrook High School. She has worked at Door 1 from 6:15 to 7:45 a.m., greeting students at the beginning of their school day for the past 3 years, anywhere from 1 to 3 mornings a week. In addition to cheerfully welcoming students into the building, Sharon has assisted as a chaperone for as many as 11 to 12 field trips this year, loving the extra time she gets to spend with our students. As BHS transition specialist Allison Andrasek notes, Sharon is very attentive and engaging with the students, recently noticing that one student was not participating in a field trip, so she jumped in and connected with the student immediately. Sharon's engagement with the students was confirmed by BHS counselor Mark Andrasek, who noted that Sharon always engages the students in conversation. Alice Cameron, a BHS SRT leader, gave an example of a special education student that did not like to speak or make eye contact with adults. With Sharon's gentle support and continued efforts, this student actually began to make eye contact with and say good morning to Sharon each day. When Sharon found out last school year the large number of students and families at BHS who were in need, she raised over $1,500 in gift cards and cash to help support these families during the holiday season. Sharon has also reached out to our community, mostly friends from her multiple senior citizen groups, collecting donations of clothing, coats, gloves, and hats during the inclement weather. Sharon has 2 adult children who graduated from BHS in 1988 and 1989 and 1992, and she loves giving back to the school that helped make her children successful. She continues to advocate for all of the students and staff at Bolingbrook High School any opportunity she gets. BHS is fortunate to have Sharon as a friend and neighbor supporting students. So Sharon, I have a pin. Here's a pin, a Pillar of Valley View pin, and some flowers for you. Thank you so much. And I think we have Norman Brown, another one of our fans who came to support. Come up for this picture.
While he's approaching the podium, I'd just like to say thank you to Sharon as well. We at times meet inadvertently at the Bolingbrook Recreation and Aquatic Center, and every time I see Sharon there, she always has very, very pleasant things to say about Bolingbrook High School and the staff and the students there. So it really is a very welcome conversation to have, and I appreciate everything you've done. Next, we have the Valley View School District Math Contest winners with Miss Christy Vey, Director of Math and Science for 612.
Good evening, President Pro Tem Zach, school board members, Dr. Mitchum, senior leadership, and community. It is my pleasure as the Director of 6 through 12 Math and Science to introduce our individual award winners for our middle school math contest that was held back in April. Tonight with us for our 6th grade individual contest, our first place winners were Connor Tynan from Jane Addams and Jasmine Germo from Brooks Middle School. At the 7th grade level, in first place was Erin Primusberger from Jane Addams Middle School. At 8th grade competition, in first place was Kelly Medina from Adams Middle School. And we had a tie at the algebra contest between Josh Ribialik and Annabeth Young from Jane Addams Middle School. The overall 2017 winner was Jane Addams Middle School, and I just want to congratulate Carrie Locke, who is their coach, and she will be taking home Pythagoras again. And so we want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and congratulations to all the mathletes.
Next to the podium is Mrs. Kira McCone for the FCCLA Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America State Qualifiers from BHS.
It's okay. Hi, I'm Deborah Taylor. I'm the advisor for FCCLA, and I am here tonight to recognize 3 outstanding FCCLA members. Thank you, board, for having us here, senior leadership and Valley View community. All 3 students are seniors this year, and leaving us, we will be sad to see them go, but we also are very proud of the work they have achieved this school year. Starting with senior Thomas Therese, who is not here today, who could not attend. Thomas competed the FCCLA Regional Culinary Competition back in February at College of DuPage. It was here that Thomas had to take his knowledge of culinary skills and face up against 3 international menus from India, Argentina, and Italy. Once at competition, they were paired with 2 students from another school in our region and had prepared one of the menus. They did not know each menu they had to prepare until they arrived. With their group, they had 30 minutes for mise en place and 1 hour to prepare and plate their entree menu. Noting that Thomas has been in the country for a very short period of time and he had some language barrier going on there. Students were judged on their time management and planning, their knife skills, their overall culinary skills, their ability to work as a team and communicate with others in the kitchen, and of course their safety and sanitation. In the end, their food was plated and presented to judges where it was judged on presentation and taste. The students faced judges, chefs in the culinary and hospitality industry from all over the state and various culinary colleges and universities. Out of 20 students in a total at competition, Thomas was one of the students to advance to the state competition in March at Kendall College in downtown Chicago. It was here again that Thomas had to prove his skills in the kitchen, with different competitors and a different menu. Although Thomas was not chosen to advance to nationals, we are still proud of his accomplishment and dedication. Now for our other seniors, we have Amber Schultz and Veronica Crowley. Amber and Veronica both competed at different FCCLA regional competitions back in February, also at College of DuPage. Amber competing in entrepreneurship and Veronica competing in sports nutrition. These ladies faced panels of judges and competed against a handful of other students in the area for the chance to make it to state competition. In the entrepreneurship category, Amber had to design a business and prepare a business plan for her business. She had to include a budget, laws, and regulations, and the funding you needed to jumpstart this business. Amber also had to design a product and provide the demographics of that product. Amber had to present her plan in front of the judges if she was a true business owner trying to get started. In the sports nutrition category, Veronica had to design a nutrition plan for athletes. She chose to design a vegan meal plan for cross-country runners. She had to present to the judges as if she was a dietitian and why a nutritional plan was the most efficient choice for the chosen group of athletes. Both of these young ladies scored high enough to move on to compete at the state level in Springfield in April. They were allowed to spruce up their presentations before their next level of competition in hopes it would lead them to nationals. Both ladies did a wonderful job competing down at state. Miss Veronica Crowley, I lost my place, sorry, scored high, giving her most outstanding at state, thus becoming a national qualifier in Nashville, Tennessee. We are so proud of their hard work and dedication to FCCLA, and we wish them much success.
Okay, finally, from Kira McCone, Enrichment Administrator for BHS and RHS, is here to recognize students for Illinois State Seal of Biliteracy.
Good evening. As a former language educator, it is truly a privilege to be presenting the Seal of Biliteracy Awards tonight. The Seal of Biliteracy is a national movement to recognize students for proficiency in English and another language. In order to achieve this accolade, students had to score an average of 20 in English and reading on the ACT, as well as demonstrate intermediate high proficiency in reading, writing, speaking, and listening of another language. This proficiency level is just below what is required for language educators in Illinois. In addition to being recognized tonight, all students will have a notation of this honor on their transcript and their diploma. At this time, it is my pleasure to present just a few of the 91 recipients of the Illinois State Seal of Biliteracy, or approximately 7% of the graduating class of 2017. Angie Beam, BHS World Languages Department Chair, is joining me in the recognition of the students. Please hold your applause until all students have been recognized. Marissa Burkowski.
Carlos Ibanez.
Kendall Heidelman.
Teresa Gomez.
Andrea Urzura.
Mariana Martinez.
Alvaro Almanza.
Sydney Rizaldo.
Russell McNabb.
Nicole Wasaki.
Aliyah de la Torre Marrocan.
Anthony de la Vega.
Juan Gomez.
Fatima Hayder.
Christopher Carafodius.
Sebastián Medina.
Carolina Mares. These were all of our recipients for biliteracy in Spanish and in English. These last three recipients are actually being recognized for triliteracy in French, Spanish, and English.
Jennifer Castaneda.
Denise Jimenez.
And Sofia Ramos.
Eight 8.1, the board liaison report to my left.
Member Perrell and myself attended the SIS, which is the Student Information System meeting on Thursday, May 4th. We are discussing a new system that will be adopted due to the fact that the current gradebook and EdLine that we use no longer will be available after December of 2018. We met in subcommittees to do a needs assessment, and a survey was then sent out to teachers for their input. Our committee will be meeting again in June to get input from different vendors. I also attended a counselors advisory committee meeting at Brooks Middle School. Both Brooks counselors and Jane Addams counselors received the RAMP certification this year. Not sure what that acronym stands for, but it acknowledges outstanding counselors in all the school districts throughout the United States. So congratulations to both of them. They thanked one of the parents of the group that wrote a grant through her work and received $500 to purchase alarm clocks for students who have trouble getting up and coming to school on time.
To the right, anybody? The student liaison report. Bolingbrook High School, would you please first introduce yourself and give your report? Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and my name is Nicole Walker. Hello to the board and to all the members of the community. I do go to Bolingbrook High School. as you know. And we have presented an amazing PowerPoint for you guys today. I promise it won't be boring, and if you think it is, well, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. So there are 4 of us, but unfortunately, one of them, Kazim, he is at his NHS induction, so congratulations to him, actually. And then Sarah, our senior, she's sadly very, very sick, and she couldn't make it today. So it is just Antonio and me. So since the beginning of our school year, we have seen a lot of great improvements, and I'm so happy to call myself a Raider because we have made amazing strides in a school to better ourselves as students, staffs, and a whole family. We've seen a lot of positive changes. Our new principal has definitely ensured a proper code of conduct. Behavior has improved tremendously since the beginning of the year. I have to say, seeing people like go through the hallways, we just see the aura is so much different and everybody's so much happier and there's just less animosity. And there's also more positivity. There's always happiness, smiles. There's never any like bad things that we feel going on. We're always really kind to each other. And student morale has definitely been boosted. We're all always motivated to do our best in our education and always be very, what's the word? We're always like trying to be into all of our sports and always fans of everything that we do. We support everybody that we can, and that's amazing to me. I am so proud of all the students. Also, the impact on students has definitely changed. BHS has definitely become a school that gives students a reason to be proud and really gives us motivation to be successful. Not just speaking for myself, but other students. I know for me, being in Bolingbrook High School, I'm always so proud, and I'm definitely proud to say I'm going to college, and I'm going to do the best I can, go to the best college, graduate, and I know a whole lot of students feel that way too, and I'm so happy about it. And they're also motivated to achieve all their goals. I know some people, their first goal, they set it up. Their first goal, graduate high school. Next goal, go to college. After that, get out, get a good job, leave a good life, have a great family. All these goals are set, and we set them throughout Bolingbrook High School, and they really give us something to look forward to. And education is always a top priority. It's always something that we look at, and we want our academics to shine no matter what. No matter where you come from, what you do, or who you are, our academics are always important to us. Our schoolwork, we're going to put it top notch. No matter what we say, what we do, that's who we are. That's what we're going to do. Honor Bolingbrook, honor the Raiders, and honor your academics, y'all. So our job as the liaisons, we believe that we've served our school and our community in the best way possible. We come up in here and we always take things that we hear from the students, and we always get the students' feedback. I go out and I ask students how you feel about Bolingbrook High School. What do you think has changed? What do you think about our staff? What do you think of us as a student body? What have you seen that's changed, that's improved? What could be changed? And I always get so much feedback, and being able to relay that to you guys, I feel so proud about everything that I've done and everything that I'm able to do. And just getting our inputs there and being able to reach our goals and to strive to be better, that's important, and that's what I love about being a liaison, is that I can hear everybody else's goals. I can hear about what they want to change, and what they want to do. And I'm able to speak it to you guys and tell you guys, and being able to voice and to be the face of a voice of the school is amazing to me. It makes me feel proud, and it makes me feel like I have a purpose to serve, and I serve it for Bolingbrook High School. And I'm so happy about that. And then this is us liaisons with Miss Ruddy, looking beautiful and whatnot. Thank you for allowing us to serve and being able to voice our opinions of our students to you guys. We really appreciate it. It means more to us than you know, and more than you can even fathom. Like, the smile on my face is so genuine right now, everybody. I don't think you understand. But just thank you, and we hope to see you next year. Antonio, all you.
All right. Good evening, members of the board, along with everyone else in attendance. My name is Tony, and I just wanted to share what this experience has meant for me. This has been an amazing experience for me to go out of my comfort zone and be able to speak. I do speech. You'd think speaking would be my thing, being a competitive speaker. But it's a completely different experience doing it in front of members of my community and some familiar faces, some people that I see, in school every day or see once a month at these meetings. But this has allowed me to get my feet wet in the community, and it's allowed me to kind of get a general idea of what I want my community to be and what part I want to play in the community I end up living in. If I move out of Bolingbrook, if I move onto somewhere else. It's allowed me to do something that, might make me uncomfortable or, I'm a shy kid at heart. So being able to do this it's surreal in a way. I feel like I'm outside of myself, right above myself, looking down at myself, talking to you guys right now. And this has allowed me to take risks that I didn't think I would be able to take, or that I thought I was too shy to take. Me and Nicole are the presidents of the speech team now, in our junior year. And yesterday, Sunday, I was nominated to be the president of the thespian troupe at our school. And I don't think I would have been able to do it without the experience that I have. Or just being able to put this down on an application or anything, it's more than that. So that was my little bragging moment. But it's an amazing experience, and this has been an amazing experience, and I want to thank my teacher, Miss Worthy, for pushing me to do this. Me and Nicole, she brought this opportunity up to us, and she saw something in me that I didn't exactly see in myself. And for Paskavich, Dr. Paskavich, to work with us so closely and to call us in during our lunch and homeroom periods and ask us what's going on in the school, and his just seeing his genuine excitement for everything and his participation in the school. Going into my junior year, I wasn't sure what to expect out of Bolingbrook High School, and I was expecting just to go in and sit down and sit through a couple classes every day and get my diploma. But it's become more than that, and it's become its own culture, and the school itself has become its own culture and its own community, and we all take pride in ourselves. And I didn't really have school spirit coming into Bolingbrook High School because I wasn't born here. Like, I'm not a native of Bolingbrook. But I am really happy to say that I'm from Bolingbrook when people ask where I'm from. And if people don't know where I'm from, it's nice being able to tell them, what Bolingbrook is and how the community is and, everything about that. So, yeah. And I guess if I can leave you guys with something tonight, I would like to ask Ms. Pero to reread that statement, the mission statement for the Board of Education.
Our mission is to empower all learners to be college and career ready and to develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
So this is me asking the board a favor, if you will. It's one thing to, say it, and this isn't me calling any of you out by any means, but it's once you, I guess, just remember what it is and who it is that you're influencing. You guys have influenced me to come here and to share what's going on within my school. and to let you guys know how the school is going. And you guys have trusted me with this, and I thank each and every one of you for that. And whether it's, Miss Campbell handing out breakfast to some of the students that I see at the park before school every morning, I recognize that. And, I see every one of you, I see you guys in school, and I see you guys interacting with students, and it means a lot to us. Seeing people who believe in us and seeing people who, genuinely care for us. So I think on behalf of all the students, since that's what my job is, to be a liaison and speak on behalf of my peers, is to thank all of you, not only for caring about us, but giving us opportunities and pushing us to be better students each and every day. So from the bottom of my heart, thank all of you. I thank all of you.
Thank you very much. Romeoville High School, please come forward, introduce yourself, and give us your report.
Good evening, members of the board. It's Nowhere Near 2 with Franco and BQ. I'm Anthony Franco.
And I'm Brandon Kwan, coming at you with a monthly board report.
Now we'd like to finish off the year by thanking you for this opportunity to come and present to you. It has been our pleasure to attend these meetings each month. Me, I haven't been here every month. I was last year's liaison, but that's not the point anyways.
As we wrap up, we had some amazing events to end our school year. Girls track had an outstanding season and ended the year tied for 9th in the state track meet. Our 4x100 relay won second place. That team consisted of Nia Lee, Janetta Jones, Kiara Carter, and Kanaya Rush. Our 4x200 relay team also won second place. That relay included Katie Kerwin, Janetta Jones, Kiara Carter, and Kanaya Rush. In the 200-meter dash, Janetta Jones took all state, taking 4th place, and Kanaya Rush also took 13th place. And in long jump, Nia Lee placed 11th.
Also, this weekend, 5 Romeoville students, Matthew Hilbert, myself, Jose Balcazar, Carlo Lucena, and Justin Suits, participated in the USA Ultimate Frisbee High School Championship and helped the team, which was Plainfield North, place 4th in overall state competition.
Last Thursday, Romeoville High School conducted its annual awards ceremony. We would like to thank the board members who were able to attend, and it was wonderful to be able to honor our seniors and all their accomplishments. Thank you.
The RHS Visual Arts Department held their annual art show last week. Art students displayed their art pieces in the upper LMC, and we got to admire their creativity and beautiful artistry. And not to brag, I am dating the woman who got Best in Show for all her pieces, so go her. Anyways, many beautiful artworks are displayed, from paintings to photographs. Yes, I do. On behalf of the editors of the school newspaper, we would like to give you some summer reading material. We have the last issue of the Spartus, which is traditionally our senior issue. We also have copies of The Messenger, which highlights our student authors and their poetry and short stories. Do you want to go ahead while I pass those in? Thank you. Go ahead.
We would also like to thank the Romeoville Rotary for hosting their annual Top 10% dinner at Lewis University. The dinner honors the top 10% of the senior class from the village of Romeoville. It was a great night. We heard a wonderful speaker, our own Mrs. Clarendon, and she encouraged the seniors to say yes to new opportunities available to us as we move on to college. I was actually there as well, and I felt personally inspired by her speech. Each senior was also allowed to give a short speech on a pre-selected topic. It was a nice evening, and we are thankful to the Rotarians who put this an event on each year. Thank you as well to the board members and Dr. Mitchum who were in attendance to celebrate with us. We are also extremely proud to announce that Romeoville High School ranks among the top 12% most challenging high schools in the country, according to the Washington Post report. The post-annual America's Most Challenging High Schools ranking are based on a number of advanced placement and advanced international certificate of education tests taken by students and divided by the number of graduating seniors. The numbers of each school's students with modest economic backgrounds was also taken into consideration. RHS, which was one of only 65 high schools in Illinois out of roughly 650 to receive the designation, obtained high marks for our advanced placement efforts.
Although through this past year as liaisons, we have conducted monthly reports to the board, we feel that we could have a stronger connection. We brainstormed and came up with a few ideas. We would like to invite you guys personally to some breakfast at our school, maybe once in the beginning of the year and then, or the semester, and then one at the end of the semester to kind of discuss plans for our future and then to discuss how they went. We also would like to invite you to more of our student body to attend these meetings. Maybe the math team comes to say hello at one of the meetings, and the next meeting you could meet members of the track team who placed. These are just a few of the ideas we have to keep the liaison connection valuable and meaningful as we are involved.
Last but not least, we would personally like to thank our administration and staff for always keeping an open door policy at our school. We were able to bring up ideas and have them support it, and this allowed us numerous opportunities for both growth outside and inside the classroom. We would like to thank our teachers at RHS for another great school year. We are appreciative of the hard work and dedication they put day in and day out. That concludes our report. Thank you, good night, and as always, stay classy.
For those of you who don't know, we started and ended at that because we are the announcers for RHS, so there you go.
Thank you,
Okay,
student.
Franco, I just want to say thank you for serving as our liaisons and go back and tell the rest of them. And I got those suggestions because I want to hang out with you guys at the beginning of the year and at the end, and that's all you allow me, so I'll accept that, okay? So thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless you as you go forward.
I just want to say thank you to all the liaisons. You guys have done a great job all year. And Franco, I want to know, did you participate in St. Baldrick's? What about this year?
This year, my girlfriend
Okay, the truth comes out. Okay.
I would like to say I really enjoy getting the newspaper. Could we get one from Bolingbrook? You think we could get these when they come out? As they come out from both schools? I really like that. Thanks. Yeah, when you come to the, yeah.
Right. Thank you. And the students, you're not expected to stay. Feel free to go home and study for exams. Oh, they don't have exams. Number 9, audience report. Is there anyone that would like to address the board? If so, please state your name and where you live, and also remember that due to time restraints, you have 4 minutes. Seeing none? 10.1.
Yes, Mr. President Pro Tem, I ask that the board approve cases A and B as presented. Student due process cases A and B as presented.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Perrell?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. .1, action report.
Yes, sir. Action Report 11.1, I'm bringing back and seeking approval on continuous improvement and smart learning systems. Information regarding this was presented at the May 1st board meeting, And it is a direct result of our ongoing continuous improvement efforts and our plan to extend our partnership with Smart Learning Systems to support our building impact teams. I included a summary of the background and rationale inside of the action report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I do have some questions.
Sure.
On page 1, it says there's a great need to implement a systematic progress monitoring reporting system in alignment with the district's strategic plan. Developing the system is a way that allows for transparency and ownership, will support a common understanding of district direction, connectedness, and initiatives, as well as progress toward meeting goals outlined by strategic plan. And that one, I just want to make a comment that it's good that the transparency, I think, is excellent, and the ownership. And I see our teachers being asked a lot about how they feel about things, and I think that's a great thing. On page 3, it says, once we're able to institutionalize the full system, grade level department teams and students become responsible for setting up and managing their learning and the achievement of one or more goals connected to the school's district strategic goals. Can you tell me how the students will become responsible for setting up and managing their learning and goals?
So many of our classrooms already have students involved in goal setting, but what this would just be a more consistent process in terms of how students become owners of their own learning, in terms of students having a clear understanding what it is they're learning, what success looks like, and where they are in relation to that. So then what step do they need to take to further their learning, and then how are they doing in improving? So it's something that is occurring in many classrooms across the district, but this is just looking at the alignment between how we do that at all levels in all of our classrooms and our buildings.
Okay. My next question is, can you define the main purpose of the internal coaches?
Sure. The internal coaches, the main purpose is to support the implementation of the SMART learning process. So the first step in the formal learning will be this summer, June 6th and 7th, when a team from each building will come to 2 days of training. And then they will return at the end of July. And that team is made up of administrators, but also it is made up of teacher leaders who are a member of the building impact team. And those are the key individuals who will then bring the process back to their building and begin to implement it in terms of setting a goal by analyzing their data and identifying the greatest area of need. And then they were the ones that will develop action plans and identify effective practice to really bring their plans to life. And then they will monitor the progress. And so those teacher and staff leaders, along with the administrators, make up that building impact team. So your question is, what is the role of the internal coaches? And that is to support the implementation. So the coaches really serve as a resource for the teams, but they also play the role of helping the teams to find the answers that they need to find to move their plans forward and monitor progress. And so through coaching questions and engaging with the teams, it's to be a support for the teams.
Development on how to do this, correct?
They do.
Okay.
Mhm. Yes, and then beyond our summer efforts, there are sessions scheduled throughout the year, half-day sessions, and then the teams themselves do continue to meet at least twice a month in the buildings as well. And then the coaches are meant to be that interim support in between the formal coaching or training sessions that we have with Smart Learning Systems.
Okay, so they can help with the SLOs.
So the reflective coaches are the ones that help with the SLOs. And next year at middle school and high school, the reflective coaches will remain that support. At the elementary level, the teaching and learning coaches will play that role. But SLOs are one piece of the puzzle. And so when we look at district goals and we look at building goals, we also look at team goals, and SLOs are student learning objectives. And those are goals that teachers set. And it's the same exact process that teachers look at their data. They identify an area that they would like to focus on to impact learning for their learners. They identify steps that they will take to specifically target those areas. And then they continue to monitor their progress and adjust to make sure that they're having an impact on the learning outcomes of the students. So SLOs are definitely connected to this whole process. But the building impact team does not directly support that. That is the reflective coaches and the teaching and learning coaches.
It was on page 4 of the chart that showed that there were 10 internal coaches receiving training before the team training sessions.
Yes.
Okay. Why only 10 to the tune of $59,000? And who decides those 10?
Okay, so the 10 internal coaches are receiving additional training and learning, and then the SMART coaches from the SMART Learning System, the SMART coach, she comes in and not only works with the coaches, but she visits buildings with us and working with the teams. And those 10 coaches were identified through looking at our district leadership team and looking at who could take on that extra load of supporting the team, because it is a rather large commitment in terms of the amount of time and commitment that we have to getting to know the teams and then supporting them throughout the year. So in the terms of quantity or volume, it amounts to a great deal of hours, training, resources and materials, and then also on-site support.
And is it all 3 grade levels?
It is. It's pre-K all the way up through STEP.
Okay, thank you.
Could I have a motion?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Abstain.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. 11.2.
Action Report 11.2 is regarding our proposal for student services support structure and organizational chart. At the last board meeting on May 1st, 2017, Erica Ekstrom, Executive Director of Student Services, shared information regarding our plan to further our supports in the area of student services. And student services not only provides direction and support for services related to students with individualized education plans through special education programming, but we also provide direct support and programming for all students in the areas of student services related to social emotional health, health services, crisis response, attendance, and discipline, among many other various needs. This proposal is in direct response from the feedback from our staff, from our union leadership, and it's an area that we know we need to continue to support based on trends that we have identified in our data. And also in comparison with other school districts, we have identified that we needed to make adjustments and additions to our support structure to fully realize the level of support that we need to provide to our building teams to impact our learners. The details were outlined in the plan this evening, and I'm happy to answer any questions or call upon Erica Ekstrom to assist with any additional information.
Can I have a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Thank you. Action Report 11.3 is presenting 3 board policies for approval. As per our regular routine, our regular procedure, board policies are continually reviewed in accordance with state and federal guidelines, school code, and upon legal guidance. 3 board policies this evening are Board Policy 260, Board Member Removal from Office, Board Policy 7200, Suspension Procedures, and Board Policy 7210, Expulsion Procedures.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the suspension and expulsion procedures, it says 2016, 2017 for the years.
And where do you see the date referred?
On the
Let me double check.
paperwork, it says, this policy becomes effective and replaces the policy and suspension procedures on the first student attendance day of 2016, 2017.
Yes, that is correct, and that is in accordance with Senate Bill 100, which came into effect this school year and this fall. So while this policy is being reviewed right now, it states that date because it is in accordance with the mandated adoption of Senate Bill 100, the guidelines that came along with that piece of legislation. So it's from the first day of 2016, 2017 going forward. So if anything were needed to be referred to in the policy this current school year, it would fall under this point forward from that date.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Okay, action report 11.4 is our District Title I plan for fiscal year 18. We are a Title I district, meaning that all of our schools in our district receive the benefit that comes from having federal funds related to Title I that comes from federal grant. Pursuant to the guidelines that the Illinois State Board of Education has set forth, we are required to write and secure board approval for a district Title I plan prior to submittal of the FY18 Title I grant. So the attached document that was posted on Board Doc reflects the required narrative in response to this compliance measure. Now, this is just one piece of the puzzle that goes into planning as to how we best utilize our Title I funds and resources. Our buildings, and as well as at the district level, are continuing in the planning efforts with writing of building plans and conducting comprehensive needs assessments at all buildings at pre-K through high school. These documents are being submitted for your approval this evening, and then we will bring back our building plans, which we are required to do so on June 12th. And again, this is required in order for us to submit our grant when it becomes available. It's not yet available, and then move forward with what is required of us.
Kudos to all the work that went into this. Holy cow.
It was a team effort. I can't take credit for it. It was definitely a team effort. We have our administrator over Title I, Dr. Greg Harris, and he worked closely with all of the members of our Educational Services Department. And we also got a lot of input for our building plan as well to support the building teams. And now the building teams are doing the hard work for their comprehensive needs assessment and their planning. So it definitely is a lot of work that goes into it, but it definitely makes us use our resources more effectively for sure.
Can I have a motion, please?
So move.
Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Abstain?
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. 12.1.
Before you, you have the annual consolidated instructional and operational software maintenance renewal report. Please note that there were 3 titles added to the report that were not given at the prior board meeting information report. There are 11 instructional software support renewals listed out there. The new adds were Power IEP, Power RTI, and Star 360. There are 6 titles represented in the operational software support renewal section. And so the change from the information report would have been an additional $96,791 for FY17. And even with those adds, the change for FY18 is a savings of $240,927. And so we are recommending the approval of the software service and report renewals for FY18 as presented.
So move.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Do we have questions?
Question?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. This question, and Mrs. Kinder, you might be able to answer. The Overdrive software,
Yes.
did we find out that that will service also the ebooks that were for the Valley View Enrichment Grants?
It will not. It's a different platform. But that does not negate the fact that the teachers have identified a need with that grant that provides something
But
unique.
they will be able to use?
They will.
Okay.
Yes,
Just
they
want to make
definitely
sure.
will.
And then Gary, on the Microsoft software, the description says that the Chromebooks don't use it. So the children in all of junior high, high school, and part of elementary will not use Microsoft next year, correct? Because they have the Chromebooks?
Yes.
Okay. But we still use it on laptops, desktops, and servers. So if that's true, and we're using it less, why does the cost go up?
Secretary Sikora, some students at the high school and middle school level do use Microsoft Office in certain CTE labs and certain classes that we still have Windows labs located in. We still have Windows laptops and Windows desktops at the middle school and at the high school level. So students still use that product there for certain classes. And then the price increase is due to Microsoft's annual price increase that we are required to pay for. We have 175 servers that utilize the operating system, and then we have I think we have about 4,500 Windows machines district-wide that also use the operating system and have Microsoft
So even though
Office
the children
installed.
have the Chromebooks, they have access to use other laptops or things to use Microsoft?
Yes, they do, and we're also working on a project that will allow us to utilize Microsoft Office in the cloud, so students can utilize their Chromebooks if they wanted to use one of the products in the cloud as well.
Oh, okay. Thank
so
you.
it's kind of a comprehensive, all-encompassing. Thank you.
Any other questions? Give a roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Abstain.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Action Report 12.2 is a recommendation to approve Resolution 1583 in order to undertake and complete the installation of solar panels at 5 of our schools, namely B.J. Ward, Jamie McGee, Jane Addams, Humphrey, and JJL Middle Schools. We are requesting approval to issue debt certificates to fund the work. Debt certificates are generally issued to fund capital payments. The outstanding principal amount of debt certificates combined with existing debt must fall within the district's statutory debt limit. Also, and very important, there is no separate tax levy for their repayment. The annual repayment will be covered by a combination of the energy savings generated by the solar arrays at each building and the annual SREC, or solar renewable energy credits, received by the district. Repayment of the $5.3 million in debt certificates will be amortized over 15 years, which will easily coincide with the lifespan of the solar panel outputs. We anticipate the annual debt service to be between $439,000 and $443,000. We're also adding a call provision to the certificates, which will allow the district to call the bonds or pay them off if rates or other factors make sense at the time. If you recall that this project would be generating an additional $100,000 of positive cash flow annually over the life of the solar panels. So we are recommending at this time approval of Resolution 1583 as presented.
I have a question.
What? We have to make a motion first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry.
Any questions?
Yeah, I do. If there's anything that, I know I wasn't on the board when you first presented this, so if there are anything that goes wrong with the solar panels, what's the process or procedure in getting them fixed? Is that our responsibility?
They do have a 25-year warranty for production capacity. They are very durable, at least that's what we're told. They're damaged very infrequently. Obviously, if there was some, F2 or 3 type tornado, we might have some issues of the racking being moved, but they're pretty robust in terms of being wind tested and how they're set. So again, we're not anticipating any breakage, if you will, with the panels themselves.
I have one more question. No, actually, I have 2 more questions. When will this be paid off, did you say?
We're doing a 15-year amortization, so for 15 years.
Okay, so this is a type of technology. What if the technology is outdated a lot sooner than that? Are there any updates at all possible?
Yeah, good question. That was a question that was asked during the presentations. There would be the ability to upgrade the panels, if you will, to go to a more productive panel. There would be a market to trade in, if you will, or sell these on the open market, the panels that we currently have. The solar panels themselves, the technology is pretty time-tested. They've been around for quite some time. And so, again, we would have the ability to upgrade if it made sense.
At a cost to us?
Of course, it would be a cost to us, yes. And,
Any other questions? Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
No.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
Action
Motion
Report
passes.
12.3 is an amendment to the Early Childhood Renovations Agreement. Back in December, the board had approved a professional services proposal delivery agreement with White Construction Services for the Early Childhood Renovation Project. That agreement represented the cost of the design, construction, and renovation of the then current administration center into 12 additional classrooms and ancillary space for early childhood. This recommendation is to amend the original agreement to include the cost of 2 additional phases related to the Early Childhood Center. The first phase will center on the renovation of the existing 10 classrooms. That scope of work will include the replacement of windows, replacing all HVAC to match the new classrooms, and replacing ceilings and flooring as well as fresh paint. This will tie in the existing classrooms to the new classrooms for a more unified look and feel. The cost for this phase is $942,575. The other phase is for site improvements around the entire building, including mass grading, sewer line replacement, concrete and asphalt replacement, fencing, landscaping, lighting, and an additional playground. At the April 17th board meeting, you approved almost $730,000 of this site work phase, which has an overall budget of $1,511,000. Those previously approved contracts are incorporated into this amendment. The proposal has White providing construction management services similar to services previously provided, including required bidding of all trades for construction and closeout of the project. This is a very similar approach to what we had used for the full-day kindergarten project. Even with the added scope of work, our target timeline hasn't changed, which remains to have all spaces ready for use for the beginning of the 2017-18 school year. For that reason, we are recommending approval of the professional services proposal delivery agreement amendment with White Construction as presented.
So move. Second.
Any questions, please?
Yeah, I do. I have another question for you. When the work is done, if for some reason there's not top quality, or say there's some issues with some of the quality of the walls or the electrical after it's done, do we have a guarantee that White will correct that, or does that fall back on our maintenance people?
We have a 1-year warranty on all work associated with that. The quality of the work is constantly being monitored. A lot of the equipment, lighting, switches, things are district standard, so you can believe that there's not substandard gear going into the space. I'm in the space once a week, once every other week at least. Our staff is in there constantly making sure that the work is up to par, if you will. But if a mechanical failure were to occur, certainly there would be a request for immediate service to fix whatever was not working.
Any other questions?
Gary, the question I called you about this afternoon with the numbers, could you just go over that real quick, because there's a few of us up here who had questions about that.
Sure. I think in the packet there was a kind of a budget project bid tracking summary. And so initially the project was bid out at $6 million, and so that represented, again, phase 1. Phase 2, again, is all of the things that I had mentioned in the report. And so, all in, it's about $8,658,000, including all architect engineering fees, construction management fees, pre-con fees, furniture, things of that nature. And so the question that you had called about was, where's the money coming from? And so we are tracking all of the projects related to the bond proceeds that the board had approved. And so the request is to send out a complete update of all the projects, where we stand, to the entire board for their information, and then open it up to any questions.
Also, could you clarify I thought things weren't adding up right.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think in the in the verbiage,
It was the 730,000.
right, the $1,511,000 that's listed there is the amount of just the site work. It does not include both phases. So you're looking at 942 for the interior renovations on the back half of the building, east side of the building, and then $1.5 million is the sewer replacement, parking lots on both sides, new playground, fencing, site lighting, sidewalks.
And that 730 is in addition to what we approved already?
No, that 730 is incorporated in the 1,511,000 for site work. So it's not an additional 730. It's the
Right.
difference between 1,511,000 and 730 is what you're being asked to approve in addition for site work.
Thank you.
If the initial one was $6 million, how did we get to 8.5?
We're adding 942,000 for the interior of the east side, and then 1,511,000 for the site work.
So this is completely, so the difference between those two is not from the initial site work that was planned, so it's the 1.5 million that's additional.
You did approve 730, and those bid results are listed there. I think it was the mass grading with Reamer, the site utilities was approved, the asphalt, the fencing, and the landscaping. The only thing that wasn't approved previously was the concrete. We didn't have a bid for concrete. We didn't have a bid for site lighting, and the playground estimate there of 260. So those would be the adds or the changes, if you will, to the site work, along with the design and planning contingency and the general conditions for labor only.
And so the total build-out for the Ad Center, or for the Early Childhood Center, Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 was around 7.5?
8.6.
Or 8.6, okay.
8,658,000.
So just so everyone, I think, the 942 and the 1.5 are additional to the initial bid, correct?
That's correct. Sorry if I didn't understand that, yes. That would be the changes from the initial, just build out of the admin space.
Any more questions? Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell? Member Gilbo?
Abstain.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. .1, please.
Action Report 13.1 this evening, we are seeking the board's approval on the Consolidated Action Report for certified and classified personnel. We're seeking your approval on 60 items for certified personnel, 85 on classified personnel, 2 on classified administrative personnel, and 3 on certified administrative personnel.
So move.
Second.
Any questions? Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
And before I move on to my next action report, in the Consolidated Action Report that was just approved by the board, there was a recommendation for an administrative position, and I'm going to ask Mrs. Marissa Trueblood to just stand. And she was just approved for the Student Services Administrator position district-wide. Just a little bit about Marissa. She's been in the district like 9 years. She was a teacher at Brooks, the special ed co-teacher at Brooks, also at STEP program. And the last year she has had an enormous job as a reflective coach, supporting our related service personnel and some of our specialized self-contained special ed programs. So we're excited to have her joining our administrative team, and congratulations, Marissa. My second action report this evening, 13.2, recommending the board's approval of the proposed job descriptions, Assistant Director of Assessment and Continuous Improvement, and Assessment Coordinator. These job descriptions were brought for your review as an information report at the May 1st board meeting. And again, these are due to just some changes and reorganization of the department.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Abstain.
Member Peril? Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes.
And my final action report this evening, 13.3, is resolution number 1584. We're seeking the board to consider and approve the adoption of the resolution authorizing the dismissal of educational support personnel employed for reasons other than reduction in force.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? May I have a roll call vote, please?
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell? Yes. Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Zach?
Yes. 14.1.
As part of the preschool expansion program presented to the board back in September, this information report seeks to outline the proposed technology resources for use in the new and existing classrooms and other instructional and non-instructional spaces at the Early Childhood Center. I don't want to read the report to you contained within the board docs, but it does contain a lot of background information, talks about specific technology needs for preschool students, 21st century classroom design, universal design, spaces to be provided for technology. What we're proposing is having new technology implemented in all 26 classrooms, the gross motor rooms, multipurpose rooms, and conference and office spaces. In addition, there are 2 classrooms, each located at 3 of our elementary schools, providing for a total of 32 classroom spaces. The proposed components involve mobile interactive whiteboards, computing devices to deliver e-books, audiobooks, and music, such as tablet devices and flip Chromebooks, interactive and non-interactive flat panels. There's a device summary listed there, speaking to the 32 devices for one for each classroom, 96 tablet-type devices, 3 per classroom, 64 flip-type Chromebooks, or 2 per classroom, 5 document cameras to be shared amongst the classrooms, and 2 non-interactive displays for the gross motor rooms, amongst other pieces of equipment. Open to any questions you may have. The total cost estimated at $161,338.
I have a, is that my turn? I'll get used to this. I have a question. These all seem really nice. Will anybody from any other schools be able to borrow any of this equipment since it's mobile?
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. They'd have to wrestle with the early childhood teachers to borrow it. But I mean, certainly, if there was a need, I would imagine that this technology would be used a good part of the day. But there's certainly no reason we couldn't use it somewhere else.
Can I get a clarification on, excuse me, on mobile? Does that mean they're not mounted on the wall permanently? They're on a
Correct.
stand that moves?
We've got a lot of flex space built into the new ed center, or a new early childhood center, breakout areas and so forth, which will allow this type of technology to be utilized in these kind of, nooks and crannies, breakout areas, soft areas, if you will. And so that's the reason. This 21st century design is not about having, the teacher stand in front of a lectern with a board behind them, whether it be a chalkboard, whiteboard, smartboard. And so having a mobile just gives us that much more flexibility.
Aren't most of our classrooms already equipped with whiteboards?
Yes. So the plan there would be to remove the existing whiteboards in the 12 existing classrooms and use those throughout the district as replacements, spares. That particular model of smartboard is no longer being manufactured. And so initially, the proposal that came to me was quite a bit higher. And I was really concerned about the cost. And I had asked Astrid and her team to come back with some sort of alternate proposal. And so they did that. They did a site visit to a school, I believe in Darien, and saw the technology being utilized. And the price tag was considerably less, about $90,000 less, if I'm not mistaken. And so we felt like, okay, this was a good, I don't want to say compromise, because I don't think that the end result is that different. I think it was just a different manufacturer that we're considering. So, Ashley, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
Yes,
the current smart board and projector, Secretary Sikora, that you're familiar with, and I'm sure other board members have seen in our classrooms, is no longer manufactured any longer. And so this is a new flat panel that has no need for a projector any longer. It is interactive and displays connecting the computer directly, so no need for cables either, and no need for bulb replacement. So it's the next generation that we want to introduce to our staff and students. And with the preschool getting a new flexible space with curved walls and no longer wanting the front of the classroom to the board to be mounted so the educator can use that board any way that they would like to. Our instructional technology specialist for the pre-K elementary team, plus team members from Principal Brown's school, Laura Israelson and Tonya Williams work collaboratively together to come up with this new package for the preschool to meet the needs of the preschool, which I'm sure you're familiar with is very specific in the amount of screen time that they are allowed students to have there, and the need for a completely flexible environment. So they're on very robust stands. We have a first generation of that located at some of our elementary LMCs that don't have walls for boards to be mounted. So those boards could be utilized anywhere within the classroom. And then also, if you're familiar with the design of the new preschool, we're going to have curved corridors, and so the board can be used there. They can move them into the gross motor room to infuse instruction wherever needed. So we're really excited about this next generation of interactive whiteboard that we're going to be able to provide our youngest learners.
I think it's important to mention as well that this new technology does interface with the existing smart software.
It absolutely does.
So those teachers that are currently part of early childhood don't have to relearn a new software setup, and so that was I think a big key attribute to this initiative.
It absolutely was. That was one of the needs that needed to be met, was to ensure that educators' existing smart board lessons could be utilized on this new technology. And the total cost for the new interactive whiteboard compared to our current smart board with projector and separate sound is within $42. So we've managed to find the next generation, but at a very good price point. And we believe that this is what we will be using going forward, but we'll await feedback from our preschool educators to let us know that that's something that would be useful throughout the district.
Any other questions?
Thank you for your time.
14.2, please.
Yes, thank you. Information report 14.2 is being presented this evening to the Board of Education and the Valley View community to inform you about adjustments that we are making to alternative program for our high school learners. I'm inviting Lisa Allen to the podium. Lisa is a current assistant principal at Bolingbrook High School, and she's the program director of the Phoenix program. Lisa has worked very closely with our Phoenix teachers as well as with our administrators from both of our high schools. We've also brought this to the academic committee co-chaired by board member Pero and Secretary Sikora. Lisa has taken into careful consideration the research as well as the data of our current programming, and collectively we feel that the shift that we're making with current resources allows us to best serve our students. So I'm going to invite Lisa to share a few highlights of our change, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Rachel. Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Mitchum, senior leadership, and members of the community. The purpose of this report is to inform you of the adjustments to the alternative learning program that are being made to best meet the needs of our high school learners. Key considerations were in alignment with research on alternative programming, which recommends that alternative learning programs be offered within the home school and allow for blended programming. And then the data review of current Phoenix students who are experiencing blended programming, showing success in having access to both the resources and supports of alternative learning as well as the homeschool. So basically what that means is we have students in Phoenix this year who are attending classes in Phoenix with online coursework and also attending BHS classes, and the data to date is that that is a successful combination for them. Recommended program changes include the elimination of the Phoenix program as a separate program, all Phoenix resources, including staff, being integrated into the high school buildings, into their building-based multi-tiered systems of supports. Credit recovery intervention periods and alternative learning programs will be offered at both Bolingbrook High School and Romeoville High School. Students will continue to have access to the credit recovery opportunities in classes with online learning programs facilitated by certified teachers. And then students will also continue to have the benefit of the following interventions and supports within the high school structure. These are things they currently have through the Phoenix program. Accelerated credit recovery, fewer classes at one time, self-paced coursework, individualized coursework, individual student success plans, daily check and connect with program staff, smaller student-teacher ratio in the classrooms, intensified social emotional support provided by program personnel, and continued college and career counseling. The online classes through the Alternative Learning Center also allow students a flexible attendance option, and that's particularly helpful for students who have health issues, either physical or social emotional, family responsibilities and parenting, work responsibilities, and it's also helpful for students who are transferring in late in the semester to get a couple of classes completed and credits earned before they can be placed into traditional semester-long courses. Some of the benefits of this change include a focus on earlier identification than we can currently accommodate, and early credit recovery in a combined format that promotes mastery of their established curricular expectations, as well as on-time graduation and on-time annual academic year promotion. So we're hoping to swoop in and give students the advantage of this intervention before they get too terribly far behind in credits earned for graduation. Another benefit is the ability to impact a broader range of students. So again, students who are just slightly credit deficient rather than waiting until it's a significant problem. And also a larger number of students we think will be able to be serviced annually. And then there's the ability to ensure students remain fully integrated in their home schools, which is critical in that they can maintain their established relationships with support personnel in their home school. The next steps are that we have held transition meetings for all current Phoenix students, both BHS students and RHS students. And program planning at both high schools will continue over the summer with the focus on early identification, again, of students with at-risk factors and early intervention through the problem-solving teams of each high school. Any questions? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
My mic's not on either. I guess maybe that was yours. I was not clear. I just grabbed a word here and there like a cell phone drop. So I'd like to have that in writing.
I'm sorry, Member Campbell, this is posted publicly on Board Docs,
Okay.
and we can provide you with a hard copy as well.
But I was just wondering the social and emotional aspect of that. Are we hiring somebody for that? Are we still using the staff that we already have? Is that going to be possible if we're talking about working with the social and emotional?
Just to clarify your question, are we maintaining the social emotional staff that we currently have?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Yes, all the staff involved in the Phoenix program currently will have been offered the opportunity to remain in the credit recovery program. It's just going to have a different name and a different format in that it'll be embedded into the high school program. So it will not be a separate program, and Romeoville High School students won't need to leave their campus to access the intervention.
Will they have a separate area in the school? I know they're going to integrate, but when they use these services, is there going to be a separate area within the school where they go to use these services?
So there's a large classroom on the third floor currently in BHS used as the resource center. That classroom will be dedicated to online coursework for credit recovery. There's also the existing classrooms in BHS, and then RHS their team is meeting. I've met with a couple of the members of their team as well to find out, to determine the best location in their building. One of the things that's changed this year and allowed us to kind of expand and experiment with this option is that prior to this year, there were only 80 licenses purchased for the online coursework. and those students had to be in Phoenix then to access the online classes. This year, prior to this year, the district purchased unlimited licenses, allowing students, a much larger number of students, and students outside of the Phoenix program itself to start taking advantage of the online courses. So Romeoville High School has had some students taking advantage of credit recovery courses, online courses this year, and they're just going to continue to expand that with additional personnel and supports through this change.
So do we already have the staff for, because it's going to be a double program now instead of just one, so do we already have the staff for that?
Through building allocations this spring, this intervention, basically the Phoenix program, as it was at that time, was allocated an additional one FTE. And so we are able to shift that FTE over to Romeoville. And they also have another person in their, got a couple people in their structure, their organizational structure, who are able to support this program. But I'm sure as we move to this change, we'll continue to evaluate and see what other supports are needed.
So only one FTE right now?
No, I'll just clarify that all of the staffing, full-time equivalency is what she's referring to when she says FTE. All of the staffing that was associated with the Phoenix program, all of those staff members they're essentially just don't have the title of Phoenix teacher. They're a math teacher, a social studies teacher, science teacher, guidance counselor. And so those staff are shifting, and then one of the full-time equivalencies is shifting to Romeoville High School. And this is incorporating into what they already have. So this information report isn't presenting or requesting additional staff or anything of that nature. We're just moving the resources so that we can best utilize them, and then also let students needing the recovery benefit from all of the rest of the support that's already at our high schools via counselors, deans, social workers, et cetera.
Okay, I think I have one more. So we talked about the staff possibly being doubled, but you're saying that's not happening. And then the materials that they're using, so within the classrooms, it was kind of hard for me to hear a little bit too.
I'm sorry.
So computers are already in place?
So next year, we will be one-to-one at both high schools. So all of our students will have a Google Chromebook, and so they will be able to use their own device. We already own the licenses for the software for Edgenuity, so there's no additional expense incurred there as well, and that's unlimited for both campuses, their site licenses, and that's for the last renewal that we did was for 3 years, so there's no new cost regarding that. In terms of materials, any additional materials that the teachers would need to supplement the online curriculum, support students, those are all materials that we already have because that's for our standard curriculum. Our expectations for students taking online learning aren't any lower. They are just learning via a different tool, and they're supported by teachers in a different, more flexible fashion. So there's no new addition of resources, not a new addition of devices or computers, and no new addition of software, and no new addition of staff.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just for a point of clarification, this is really just a programming change in line with many programming changes that take place within our district. The reason this information is brought to the board is because this is a significant programming change that, we wanted you to be made aware of in case there were any further questions. This is not something that will be brought back for action. This is simply information we're providing you to let you know ahead of time in a proactive way a programming change that will impact our children.
And I want to reiterate, I said this at the beginning, and if it was lost, I apologize, but our Phoenix teachers have given great input. In fact, much, if not most, of the idea, including how things would connect and how they would be integrated, they are fully in support of. And I think they will benefit as well because they will be an included part of our network of professional colleagues as well. And so it will be a win for them and a win for our students as well. And so we fully anticipate that we will be able to maintain and improve what we are providing currently for our students who are in need of this format for learning.
I think one of my biggest takeaways from the meeting that we had, the academic committee meeting, was one of the biggest benefits of this change is that we will be able to capture students earlier when they haven't quite, before it's to a point where they have to go to Phoenix, where they're past the point of return with credit recovery. We can grab them earlier and get them on track sooner, and hopefully they won't, we'll have, higher graduation rates and so forth.
What do you mean when you say pass return? What does that mean? Yeah. You said that before, we're trying to catch them before they're in a place where they're past return.
I understood that you were referring to before there are so many credits, like deficient, that it would be difficult to earn that back by the time they would need to graduate?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. No, I just want to make sure that in my mind, I don't see any student as past return. That's what I'm trying to highlight.
Absolutely not. There are certain circumstances where students are so credit deficient and they cannot graduate by the time they would turn 21. And in that case, there's alternative options that we look at for our learners through adult high school program with partnerships that we have with Joliet Junior College, through other correspondence online learning. And there's GED programs as well, but of course we make every effort possible, even in extreme circumstances, for students to be able to recover that, even as adult learners. We have a lot of strong community partnerships, so you're right, there is never a point of past of no return. We will figure out a way and do what we have to do.
And hopefully we'll get more of these kids to graduate by the time they're 18 instead of 21.
Well, the majority do. I was talking about an extreme, circumstance where a student is, severely credit deficient, and that could be a case.
Okay, thank you. Number 15, legal service.
Yes, I just want to take this moment to acknowledge 63 years ago, last Wednesday, Brown versus Board of Education, which overturned the Plessy case, ruling on desegregation of schools. I believe that there were some presentations last week that were available, and there's still a ways to go with things, but I just want to acknowledge that 63-year anniversary. Nothing further.
Thank you. Number association and federation reports. Number 16.1, AFT. Seeing none. Number 16.2, the Valley View Council. And 16.3, the Valley View Office Personnel Council. They emailed us. They would have nothing to report. Number 17, old business. Number 18.1, any new business? Number 19, questions from the public. Number 20 is announcements. Announcements by the board?
Yes, I do have some announcements. Our legal counsel just made mention of Brown versus the Board of Education, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank, I believe he's a social studies instructor at BHS that brought Reverend Jesse Jackson out to speak, and I think that the students were very engaged in what he had to say. So I want to thank him for that. And then also I want to take this opportunity to say thanks and goodbye to, I call him Grandpa because we're always talking about grandkids, Larry Randa. I know he don't want that, but if God's willing, I'll be on a mission trip to the Navajo Nations in Arizona, so I won't be here for June meeting. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you for all the service that you have provided for this district, and personally, just being a grandpa. So, and a happy anniversary to you.
Okay, just a reminder that the 8th of June is the golf outing for the Valley View Educational Enrichment Foundation. In the proposal tonight, I will tell you that Valley View gave out 27 grants
to the value of $30,638. They do that with only two main events, one being our dinner and the other being the golf outing. So as many people as can come out, please attend our golf outing. That information is on our Valley View website.
In case you have missed, in both of our high schools recently received national recognition for their academic excellence from two well-respected publications. The U.S. News and the World Report awarded bronze medals to both Bolingbrook High School and Romeoville High School in their 2017 Best High School rankings. To receive a Best Schools medal, a high school must outperform expectations for high school students throughout the state in which the school is located, factoring in diversity and the percentage of economical disadvantaged students. Graduation rates, college readiness based on advanced placements, participation, and test results are also crucial factors. Only 1 out of 9 Illinois high schools receive this honor, which puts Bolingbrook High School and Romeoville High School in a pretty elite group. A week later, the Washington Post revealed its annual Most Challenging High Schools list, which is designed to identify those schools working hardest to challenge the students from all backgrounds. On this year's list is Romeoville High School, which placed Romeoville High School among the top 12% most challenging high schools in the country and in the top 10% in Illinois. I want to congratulate the administration, the teachers, the staff, and the parents at both high schools and throughout the district for helping in creating a new view where kids can both learn and excel. We've come a long way in 5 years, but we still have work to do. By working together, we can achieve our goals to be one of the highest performing school districts, not only in the state, but also in the country. 20.2, any announcements by the administration? Any announcements by the...
I'm sorry, I just have one. I just wanted to thank our incredibly hardworking staff, all of our teachers, support staff, related service administrators. It's been a quick, long, sometimes crazy year, but it's been a very positive year, and we're going strong to the finish line, which is next Friday for some of us, at least for our kids. And then the work will continue long through the summer. And so just thank you all for your continued efforts. It's been fun.
Announcements by the public? Motion to adjourn? All in favor? Motion passes.